She was an American girl, raised off of promises. Oh boy, my voice just totally gave out. That's not going to be the song we're singing today. Raised off of promises. She couldn't help but think that there might be a little more left somewhere else. After all, it was a great big world with lots of places to run to. Why did she have to die trying? She got one more problem she promised she gonna keep. Anyways, how are we doing? What is going on? So I have behind me, don't look behind the curtain. There's a wizard that lives behind there. Her name is Sumi, and she may make this whole thing collapse on me, but now we have green screenification. Hopefully it's a little less crapification on the live streams. Hopefully it's a little cleaner and crisper when I pick up something and I'm like, yo, you guys check out whatever on my phone or up on something. But how are we all doing? Johnny Best. Who else we got in here? Brenda T. Hydrocool Carrot. Cole Hansen. What is going on? Vaughn Lurker and Carson Muffin. What is up? Who else is in here? Splashy Fins, Cheeks and Hens, or Cheeky Hens. Oh, I was thinking Chicks and Hens. Uyo and Snail Tub and Ollie the Pufferfish. Ryan Harris, what is up? YouTube sucks for notifications. This is literally the only channel I have notifications for, and I get one out of every 5 or less. Yeah, I feel your pain. That is how it is for me as well. I have, though, I only go to the, it's not the For You feed. Like when you get on YouTube, if you're on a phone or phone, cell phone app, whatever, go to not your home page, but go to your subscription page. And that will only at least have stuff you subscribe to. So then there won't be a bunch of other junk on there, right? And there's at least that. But, guys, I am going to stream tomorrow. So don't worry. If you're feeling like I want to go hang out with Bob Steamfot, he's who I want to play with today, then go do it. I am here just, to hop on because I was feeling okay enough to stream. I've been having some serious problems with like my lupus and rashes, and not just rashes. I mean, that's a very nice way of putting it. But they're basically giant blisters that break out on my body all over. Let's see if this side is a little more compelling. But anyways, you guys start the $200 challenge. I know, right? And I feel like, yeah, so in my tanks, the goal is I want to start a challenge to see what kind of tank you could build for $200. Now, granted, $200 is not much if you don't count shipping, because you could spend all that if buying 3 fish from 3 places just on shipping, literally, these days. But the thing that I want to point out, that, I mean, a lot of people have given me a lot of flack for my episode where I talked about tariffs, and granted, they came on and then they froze, and then they came on completely different than we thought they were going to, and then they froze, and then the Chinese tariff came up 8 times higher than it was supposed to be, and then there's a tariff still on Mexico and on Canada. Now, I am not getting into politics in the sense that I'm not trying to tell you my opinion of that, other than my opinion is I would love things manufactured in the U.S. I want U.S. quality manufacturing. I want jobs in the U.S. I want that for every country, for them to be able to use their resources and their labor power to produce the things they want where they are. That being said, things like exotic fish, for instance, are just not going to come from America unless we farm them here, but they're still going to have to come from somewhere else initially. But beyond all that, I did a video, and it's not super accurate price-wise. It was literally just to walk down the aisle of a Petco or PetSmart or big box store, Walmart. And it's not just China. That people think everything's made in China. And sure, there's a lot made in China. But in our hobby, there's a lot made in the EU. There's a lot made in Malaysia, in India, in Bangladesh, in Taiwan, and in interesting places that you may not expect. And places like Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia are notorious for being inexpensive manufacturing hubs. And so even if it isn't China, those places kind of pick up the slack a lot of times for stuff that you can't find elsewhere. And I'm just talking little doodads. So like, say you bought a kit aquarium that says it's manufactured in the US. Well, you're going to have pieces in it that are made out of plastic. And these plastic pieces, PVC or PVS or whatever they happen to be, and charger components, things like this, things like the rocker switch that is on a button. These things all get made somewhere. The diodes in this thing, they're not made in the US. So even if this says made in the US or manufactured, it should more specifically say, all the cord, I mean, a lot of this stuff comes from elsewhere. And so the main thing is to just remind folks that, like, this is going to have knock-on effects even for the stuff that's quote-unquote made in America. The stuff that's made in the US, they have to buy, even if they are making the little plastic doodads for their brand, they have to get the pellets, these little plastic BB size pellets, and they have to pour them into the injection molds and things like that. Things like bottles. A lot of times they're going to buy stuff like this from overseas. They're not going to make the bottle here if they don't have to. And so for me, while, like I said, I'd love to see that made in America, all that production line, I'd love to see it made in America. It takes time. Even if we want to see that, it won't happen overnight. There are millions of dollars. A report just came out talking about if they were to make the iPhone, the current iPhone in America, that it would cost at a minimum, Forbes and Business Insider did the article on it, that it would be a $3,600 iPhone minimum. And that's if we're buying the circuitry parts and stuff from Taiwan still, but assembling it here at minimum wage. That's at absolute minimum wage and everything. So kind of interesting that, you know, like what that would do, just because the cost of living, everything is crazy overseas compared to here. The world has been globalized and so forth. But what I want to remind you of in this episode, because we want to go look at some retailers, is that I have specifically talked to now over a dozen online fish store sellers, owners, as well as local store owners, and it's really impacting people to different degrees. But I am seeing people on my Facebook stream finally, and I don't mean this in any sort of positive way, I mean it in a very sad way, posting, I just had an order of bettas or of guppies come in from Vietnam. Normally, they are whatever they said, like $4,000. With the new tariffs in place at 46%, plus the new fees, plus the cost of shipping changing overnight, basically, and the other components like heat packs and things, which they had to get from China to then into Vietnam, it ended up costing them a total of $7,000 when their normal line item is $4,000 to import weekly. And, you know, that's just one example of one woman. There was another store that had a $2,800 order, usually coming in from Indonesia. Indonesia being the biggest place really these days in the US, where you're getting transshippers shipping directly from Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, a little bit of Japan, a little bit of Singapore, a little bit of Hong Kong, and then obviously the South American countries. Well, that ends up being then a lot more money. So for instance, the price that my buddy, and I'll have to you know what? I'm going to tell you guys this as an inside secret, because there's not many of us here. It's kind of a weird, random stream. But my good buddy, Jason, who used to run Redfish Bluefish, his plan has been to come back into business using his now teenage son as his kind of protege, his apprentice. He was having some limitations with health and family time and issues and things like that. And he had to kind of step back, kind of focus on his day job, which is tech, and kind of be able to do that, some of it remote, some of it on site. And then in between the time, he did have a job at one point that made it really easy for him to run a mail order fish place. Not really easy. It made it possible to run a mail order fish place of European fish. Well, the fact that he specialized in European fish that were the most expensive in the hobby, like before Dan's Fish, he used a lot of the Czech Republic listings. He used a lot of the Polish, the Ukrainian, I mean, the Eastern European fish, and as well as German and the Netherlands. And a lot of those fish were double, triple the price of the fish coming in from Indonesia, but they were very, very good quality. They were interesting strains that you wouldn't see elsewhere. And basically, Jason, had some people say, I'm willing to pay, $30 per apisto or $40 per apisto, $100 a pair for a mated sure pair of adult apistos. Of a rare kind or of a specific line that's not available in the US. It's only available in Europe and the wild, essentially. It's just not traded in the sellers around here. So while we've got all that going on, we may see a complete change if this stuff keeps up in where people are getting their stuff. And the other thing that's going on already, because this is how quick people adjust, when money and their livelihood is on the line, they are quick. And also, thank you so much for the gifted membership, Johnny. I really do appreciate that. I hope somebody worthy of the cause gets it. Looks like Sharfin Bean got it. So congratulations, welcome aboard. Check out the community tab and the posts on YouTube, and you'll have over 200 extra bits and bobs to go listen to, audio episodes, video episodes, live streams, and so forth, and posts and trivia and so forth. So yeah, the transshipper stuff going on. Vietnam, even though they're at 46% tariff, right now that is on hold. Now, in 90 days, it may go back into action. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But a lot of the Chinese goods are now being staged into Vietnam to try to get around the tariffs. So we're going to have to find out, are we going to actually see a massive amount of stuff going to other countries first? We've seen this in the past. We see this actually a lot with European goods. So like Fluval will make their heater, their lights, whatever it may be. Their filters are notorious for this. I don't know that there is a filter company that is completely US or EU made right now that I can think of off the top of my head. Most of them are, and for sure, all their plastic pellets and interchangeable pieces and doodads come from China or India or another place overseas, Nigeria. There's a few places that deal with those big plastic chips in bulk. But regardless, like, it makes it so where are you going to get them? You're going to have to get them somewhere. And the people in Fluval, in Eheim, places like that, where it says manufactured in Italy, they're still oftentimes getting the top container or the clear plastic of the hang off the back filter. That piece comes from an injection mold factory in China, in Shenzhen usually, or Shenzhou. And then that gets snapped together. Fluval is a Canadian company. Well, not really. I mean, so they have a so Fluval has how do I put this? yeah, they have corporate headquarters in several countries. You know, they also have one in Malaysia. They have one in the UK. They have one in the Netherlands. In my video recently, you can see it on the back of the box. It lists some of these places have 4 or 5 headquarters. But that's just being registered certain divisions of the company in the hopes that, you know, they register the financial chunk of it and their research and development wing, which may be called something altogether different, like Vanguard Mutual or something. That may be one totally different branch of things, whereas like the I don't know, Shrimp Lover Delight could be another line that's just the food section for invertebrates, but they're all under that family. But then if you look, a lot of times it'll say like all Fluval products are made in Jamaica. I don't know, I'm making it up. Canada, US, Europe, whatever it may be. And it turns out that, like, yes, technically everything under the Fluval name is, but then when you look carefully, you may notice that, oh, there's Fluval stratum and biostratum. Is that the same as Fluval? And you may find that there's a shell company called Fluval Stratum that deals with, and they do, all of the Japanese soil that is where we get that aqua soil from. It's coming from Japan and China, the aqua soils. The higher quality generally coming from Japan. How often do you run into someone with the same and first last name as me? Not a lot, but they're enough that it's there's 2 other graphic designers that are of well-known acclaim named Alexander Williamson. One's about 50 and one's about 45, and I'm in my late 30s. So they kind of got to the playing field first. Then there's another artist on the East Coast and an artist in Paris that's Alexander Williamson. That also does visual art, but yeah, kind of interesting. Alexander is a common name, or Alex, and then Williamson is a very common name from Scotland. There's a lot of them. I think it's the 24th or 25th most common surname. If you have the surname Williams, boy, then you have, I mean, there's a lot of people with your last name. Yeah, you like my library? You like that? Does it make you feel like we're in the very expensively recently what do you call it, refurnished library? I think it's nice. Let's see. Oh, I can touch up my appearance. What does that do? Let's see what this does. Can I get rid of all my blemishes and stuff? Oh yeah, look at that. All right. We can also do, oh, look, we're in a tank. We're looking at a Stiphodon, or we can go, boom, we're in a museum. We're in the Natural History Museum. We're in Paris. Or we can get inside some art. We can hang out some art that I drew 15 years ago of a rainbow trout eating a fish. Or we can hang out in my living room. Is this better, guys? You want to hang out in my living room? Look, I even left it a little cluttered right here. So you can feel at home. Anyways, so yeah, what I wanted to talk about though today is something about, can I grow kabamba in low, moderate light? You can, as long as it's soft water, soft to neutral water without a lot of hardness, that'll do okay. The better light you have though, the far bushier, denser, and more colorful it will be. It gets very scraggly and kind of just hangs in there barely when it's in really low light. All right, in my tank says, I'm just curious what you would order from Aquatic Clarity, one of my clubs I'm a member of. Just did a group order. I just got some Nanochromis. Oh, right on. I don't know Aquatic Clarity. I'll have to check them out for sure. For sure, I'll have to do that. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, you guys, let's show me some love and hit the like button. I would appreciate that. That would be very nice of you. So all right, let's pop up our first challenge. So if I were the king of the forest, you know, we got codes for days, guys. So I got Moonlight Aquatics, Dan's Fish, Aquatic Arts. Technically, you can also get a discount with the Garden of Eater Shrimps. Who else? Flip Aquatic. I think I still have a 5% discount. That was never a very good discount, but you know, that exists. Brine Shrimp Direct. I think I also had a like secret 5, which 5%, also kind of not worth it hardly. But anyways, hey Robert, how's it going? Cassandra, what's up? And Koro, Soro, Koro. Let's go with Koro. Yeah, those are the places I like. Shrimp Envy too, but I've got a discount code in there as well. But I want to go first with, oh, and I got my taxes filed last night. Hallelujah. That was like really taking up a chunk of my brain power and time, and just I needed to get that done for my wife and I, but also for the channel. Thank goodness, you guys, I saved, you know, every receipt, kept it pretty organized of like when I traveled to speak and things. And this last year was the first year that I really got to write some of that off and that it really helped. So last year I ended up owing like $2,000 in taxes. Whereas this year I get a refund of $700 between my wife and I. So that's pretty awesome, in that like I brought my tax burden down by like $9,000 because they let me write off a whole lot of stuff. And, you know, some of the stuff that I do, like when I speak pro bono, they let me write that off as if it's going to a charity nonprofit that's been set up. So like if I go talk to a club that's a nonprofit or whatnot, I can write that off. And depending on the situation, I've got software that lets me know like, oh, you can write 20% of that off, or you can write 50% or whatever. And this, you go here to find the going rate. So I want to just say that that's been the first time I've ever been able to do that, in that I've just never been an artist. I mean, I've been an artist, a tattoo artist, and a visual artist with a gallery. I haven't really ever had a job where I could write off much more than like paint, supplies, a little bit of rent. But now, you know, I could write off a little bit of the, you know, the high-speed internet. They let you write off like a chunk of that. They let you write off your cell phone. And I have a separate line for business-related stuff. So I'm really happy about all that. Another big piece of news that I want to tell you before we pull up the first place we're going to try to spend $200 at and get. So here's my goal, is today's episode, we're going to imagine I have $200 gift certificate for each of these places, not counting shipping. And, you know, shipping for me from like Moonlight, even though it says it could be $60 or $70, it would be 22. Because it's overnight, but it's the super close ground overnight. So a lot of people go to these places and they're like terrified at the amount, but you kind of have to go through the process and sometimes even email the person to know like what makes the most sense, because sometimes they just quote high because they want to cover everyone and all their bases, like Alaska or Florida, and they're over here. Whereas like the UPS hub for like Aquatic Arts, for instance, and the FedEx hub, they're in that area. They're in Kentucky and in Indianapolis or Indiana. And so is Aquatic Arts. So the farthest zone it could go away, whether it goes to Alaska, Washington, or it goes to Maine or Florida or San Diego, it's only going to go 2 zones away in the pricing guide. Whereas anybody who lives here or Florida, there's up to 5 pricing zones you may cross, and it goes up each time with that new distance. So it's kind of interesting. Kentucky and Tennessee, yeah. So it's kind of interesting how that works. Wait, UPS, aren't they? They're in, FedEx is in Indianapolis, aren't they? Or are they somewhere in Tennessee? And then Kentucky has UPS, right? Lexington? I might have that mixed up. But anyways, the long story short of it is that companies, Flip Aquatics, anybody in the Midwest, really, they have a big advantage. That's why Aquarium Co-op moved all their warehouses to the Midwest, is because, or not really, I don't know if you call that the Midwest, but the central part of the country, essentially, Kentucky, because they wanted to have the least amount of drive between all the places they send stuff. UPS is Louisville, FedEx is Memphis. Oh, okay. Thank you. I thought Indianapolis had one of them. Okay. Interesting. Thanks, though. Fish the keeping. Big Steve's glass boxes. What's up? And you? Hello. Tanks to tires, Tom. What is up? Robert Bennett. Also, what's up? Non-abnormal. What is up? So let's see here. We're going to take a look at Moonlight Aquatics up here in the far wee Pacific Northwest. Now, he has been importing from Hong Kong, from China, and I don't yet know what any of that means, in that he may be soon, if he wanted to order from China still, and that's a big if, he will not be paying $1.50 for tetras once they're landed. He will be paying about $4, or actually $3.75 instead of $1.50, for instance. He'll be paying 145% more on top of the original price. So that is a pricey amount to deal with. And yes, order from next to China. That's what a lot of people are doing, is they're ordering from Vietnam. That's what I was saying. However, Trump wants to punish that as well. I can't remember what he was proposing, but basically they want to find a way to track that and kind of like clamp down on it and consider that like a tariff fraud or abuse or something. So I don't know. Who knows? No one knows what's going to happen with that. What I just want to raise your awareness to is that things could be changing. If you want to buy a big appliance, if you want to buy a big aquarium, not going to be a bad time to do it now. I can guarantee you that in the next year or two, the prices are probably not going down on much of anything in the consumer market. Maybe in 3 years or so, once they get things rebuilt, once they get, a whole economic planned out for who's going to build what, where, and, where there's iron, where there's plastic, which port is going to bring in what. Those logistics are really expensive and they make a big difference. I mean, there is a cable that runs from New York to Chicago, and they have relayed this cable to be higher and higher speed fiber optic cable for the stock traders that use it. And literally a thousandth of a second matters because they want to get their trades in first when they submit the trade calls, basically. And you can push a button and then everyone goes, but there's always a green light of when it's allowed to make an order or a call. Computers now do it because they can think faster than humans on like what's a buy, what's a sell, and what's stay or whatever. And they set that all ahead of time. And now it's a computer that does it. And then that morning, right when it opens, boom. And they paid to dig a trench and lay very expensive, very beefy fiber optic wire. And they've done this over and over and over. Well, that's just one example of like the lengths people go to just to shave off a fraction of a second or a penny. And when it comes to plastic injection molding stuff, people like Petco, people like, whatever, Nike, or I don't know, the company that makes nails and screws, if they can take 5% of the metal somehow and make it disappear or not be wasted when it was being wasted, or cost more from one side of the country, like the Pacific Ocean, versus bringing it in from the Atlantic, they'll figure out like, okay, we got to put it on this, then we got to put it on a train, then we got to put it in a pickup truck, a semi truck, and then we'll deliver it to the store. And they'll figure out, all those things eventually, and they all will matter, but that takes time. So People, though, I want to say, guys, I lost over 500 subscribers. So my subscriber growth has been neutral for 2 months. And it's not a surprise. He ran on the idea that tariffs would be in place and that will help the American economy. I'm not going to get into all that in the sense of like how that works out and my thoughts or any of that. But I'm just saying, the bare minimum you can do is acknowledge that that's going to make things get more expensive for a while, you know? But even me saying that, I'm getting people leaving the channel and saying that I'm a Judas and that I'm an idiot and that I'm a communist and blah, blah, blah. So you can't please half the people any of the time. But we carry on, and I say, go watch last time he was president when I had this channel in 2016, and he talked about tariffs. He talked about stuff. I made an episode just like the episodes I've made here. People got mad at me and said that I was being a hater and this or that. What happened? The things I said were going to happen. We know. He knows. He made the new trade deal with Canada. He's the one who tore it up this time. So, I mean, we already know what's going to happen to some degree. So it's just kind of silly to say, oh, we don't know what's going to go on. So I wanted to make that abundantly clear, because now is the time to buy some fish. If you have a little bit of extra money and you were thinking about buying some fish in the next few months, or you were thinking about, maybe I want to pull the trigger on a 90p or 120p rimless tank or something like that, those are things that could get quite a big boost in price, and that it would not be insignificant. I mean, it would be very, very big deals, for your pocketbook if that does occur. So let me, that's weird. All right, let me try to present this again. Moonlight Aquatic, if we have, Robert Bennett says, I don't always agree with you. Doesn't make me hate you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's fine if you are for Trump's policy or whatever. That's fine. I'm not trying to call out any users or any fish community members for politics stuff. I'm literally just saying that we know this will have an effect. Whether you think it's justified or valid, you can argue about that till the cows come home. But I'm just saying, people get nervous when they can't predict what's happening with the economy. That's common sense. It happens every time. Whether or not you believe in the long-term effects of tariffs and things, that's a whole other topic. But yet again, the short-term effects of tariffs are very obvious. So, all right, share screen. Let's see here. Well, thank you, Andrew. I mean, I try to be fairly. What are the most common fish coming out of China? Everything. Every single fish you can think of that is bred in captivity is bred in China, is bred in Hong Kong, is bred in Indonesia. There are so many. Let me show you some of them. We're going to look at Moonlight Aquatics, and Chang is able to get really good prices because he imports from Malaysia, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and mainland China if he can. He has family that's been in the industry and friends now for quite some time. But I mean, look at this. These are coming out of China. They're coming from Borneo, but probably out of China or out of Indonesia by way of Chinese dealers. And he has, if you saw my recent videos, he has like every colorful hill stream loach you have ever seen. I mean, these ones, they may not look spectacular now, but these are the ones that have a whole pink body and they have white polka dots. Their fins are pink or red. I mean, he has an incredible selection of these things. He's got these Pengai ones. Let me show you what these really look like. And he's selling these for $44. And you may think, that's kind of a lot for a little sucker fish. Let me show you how incredible these are. They're like the most incredibly beautiful hemi they're like the most incredible pleco you've ever seen. and then they have just insane color to boot. You know, so there's a reason why they're expensive, but like now is probably the only time you're gonna see them like worthwhile to order, because they're gonna get so expensive that they're just not even worthwhile for most people to buy. But they're a very cool fish. Hold on, let me look up this. Let me show you one of the other ones. Gastromyzon. And I know you guys can't see this right this second, but I'll pull it up in a second. Gastromyzon fangi. Is that the one I wanted? No. Which one is it? Oh wow, that didn't correct anything. Hold on. Gastromyzon. Lepidogaster, that's a good one. Or we could do. There's so many coming out right now, and they're so incredibly beautiful. I mean, they're just incredible. So, okay, so let me pull this over for you guys. So, I don't know if this will work. Let's try it though. So, in their full glory, check these fish out. I mean, they get like purple fins and yellow fins. There's like purple iridescence, and then they have white, and then they've got like a shimmery sheen on them, and they get a purple tail here, and on some of the male or female, I can't remember. And then they get, as they get older, they get stripes, and some have spots, some have stripes, and then they start taking over more of the body. But I mean, either any way you cut it, they're just absolutely stunning fish. Super stunning. In the U.S., the U.S. imported $8.2 million worth of ornamental fish, with imports from China totaling about 450,000. So China, roughly 0.55% of the U.S. ornamental. Johnny, are you sure about that number? Is that from my video where the color enhancing food that I like is anything with astaxanthin, and there's cold pressed krill flake that has it. That's great, but the highest amount that they can put in the products is this. I'll put it in the chat. Is astaxanthin 400 universal units or grams or whatever UG stands for in vitamins, right? So that's like doses per serving, essentially. But 400 is the highest legal limit, because it's kind of like steroids. It makes your fish very, very, very red. Anything they eat that's carotenoid, so lycopene, in a lot of the antioxidants and things that will make them very colorful in that sense. That's the astaxanthin, right? Then there is anything that says color enhancing is going to have astaxanthin in it, 100%. Has anyone heard from Nationwide Aquatics? I bought from Dan's, KG Tropicals, and big box stores. Just wondering if they're. I have not heard of them, Tony. If anybody else has in here, let me know. Nationwide Aquatics. Don't know them. I do know Imperial Tropicals. I appreciate them. I like them. I'm trying to think of anyone else though that I can think of that's on my list like that. All right, so back to Moonlight though. Oh, he's all out of panda loaches. That was literally going to be my 20-gallon tank idea, was to get about 10 panda loaches for 130 bucks, and like boom, that would be our centerpiece fish. Then we get a river snail. These are beautiful. These orange, they're blueberry snails, but they're from a different river, and they're very pretty. The blueberry snail are more like an auburn or brown or chestnut color. But again, these loaches, I would buy these all day. Maybe not in a $200 budgeted tank. Maybe I'd only buy like 3 of them. But he's got them in a tank in the store where there's like 50 of them. And they're super social. They are so playful. They're super fun to watch. I absolutely love them. So if we shop live fish, all fish, I mean, this dude at Moonlight Aquatics, guys, by the way, if you're shopping at Moonlight Aquatics, let me just put this out there into the world. Moonlight Aquatics, code, secret, or no, it's not that one. It's Fishery 10, but I'll put that up. 10, and you'll get 10% off. Now that's 10% off on top of whatever sale price or whatever else he decides to do. So it's a good deal. Same with Aquatic Arts. Fishery 15 gets you 15% off Aquatic Arts. Flat order. So yeah. The price hikes, Gardaki says, the price hikes have helped me sell more Neos and plants. I believe it. I have seen that happen many times. Every time the prices go up during COVID and all that, wild, you know? Yeah, it's wild. So, all right, let's see here. When we go back to, let me get out of that. Let me get into this. So what would I make in my tank? So our little, our one tank is out, right? Well, here's a cheap tank. Let's do like a couple tanks, right? Okay, so his shrimp are $3.99 a piece for Bloody Marys. So let's spend 40 bucks. Let's just say 40 bucks. And we got ourselves a colony of Bloody Marys. He always throws in a bunch of babies. Like just whatever he catches, he just throws in. He's just that kind of guy. So there, we've got one tank with those. That's lovely. Maybe, you know what, for the fun of it, for 15 bucks, let's put in black autosinkless, a really hard to find small little autosinkless, great at cleaning the glass. What else do we want to put in that tank? Oh, I don't know. Let's do 3 of these little tiger baddis. They're only $8.99 a pop. Then we take the discount. Boom, it's like getting rid of taxes. So we'll just ignore taxes, right? And what else have we got going on? So that tank's pretty well stocked. What could we do? Well, we could get a pair of fish. We could get a pair of Blue Flame Paradise Gouramis for 20 bucks. I know he's got males and females last I looked. Or we could get blue jelly shrimp. Or, hey, we could get the blue zebra gastromyzon. If you weren't feeling the little autosinkless, we could spend 40 bucks on shrimp and still get a nice 3 of these and a snail, and they'd all be peaceful. But let's say your tank, you want something else. In a 10-gallon tank, let's say you want a 10 or a 20-gallon. You want something that you're going to be able to breed and sell and make some money. Well, you could go with something like the super red pencil fish. Not the best picture of them. There's some better pictures out there. But they got the super reds. Those are lovely. They're in high demand. 29 bucks a pop. They are pricey. Or you could get the coral reds, which are $14.99. And yeah, some of them are not as colorful, but a lot do get very vivid. You guys have probably seen these in my tank. I breed these readily. They're easy to breed. They're just egg scatterers. So, you know, there's another idea. But let's go back here. And, you know, he also has a ton of gobies that you will never see anywhere else. And that's what he's getting from China and Taiwan and places like that, like you just will not see them anywhere else. Same with the rainbow fish he's getting. These right here, these, I've never seen these anywhere else. The neon golden striped shark, these have like a rainbow shimmer to them with pink stripes on their fins that are really subtle. They're very interesting. They're kind of like a pandagara or something like that, you know. Very interesting fish. Okay, let's talk about Corydoras. So you could get what was selling for 40 bucks a pop. You could get the Corridoras Venezuela orange, have a 20 long gallon, and let's say you need 8 of them, right? So 8 of them at 12 bucks, minus 10%. So let's just round that to about 10 bucks a piece or so, right? So we end up about 80 bucks, maybe 90. Now we still got 110 bucks. So we've got Corey's breeding in the bottom that we should be able to flip for that 10 bucks, if not maybe even 15 bucks. Some places the orange Venezuelans are still going for a lot more. And he has very nice ones. This picture sucks. I don't know why. He needs to upload all the pictures I've taken. I'm kind of getting on him about that. Like, look at these for $11.99, gold laser Corys. Look at this. And these are the big ones. And they are like beautiful. Get 8 of those instead. Breed them up. You know, they'll have 200 babies when they're fully grown. They'll have 100 babies, 200 babies. You could do that for 80 bucks. Bing, bada, boom. Order those. He's got all sorts of Corys on here. He's got all sorts of rainbow fish. But let's say we're sticking with the Cory idea. Also, he's got these new Hull Creek Cherax Pulcher. These are the Thunderbolt one that that the Shrimp King, Chris Lukoff, kind of discovered in Papua New Guinea. But he's got those in. This, another incredible fish. You could make a nice community tank. These Imperial Lapis Tetras. I need to get more. Mine died when my power went out and the tank got too hot over the summer. Yeah, it was after my surgery over the summer. You know, or let's say those Corys for 80 bucks didn't quite wet your whistle enough. Well, you could get a dwarf Peclotia pleco, which normally are $100 to $200. And here we're looking at them for $49.99. You get another $6 off of that because you're one of my special people. Oh, what about this? These are nice and easy to breed. These look like the old Cheese Creek ones. Look at this. A really cool pattern on them. These super cool bristlenose plecos here. The Rio Intenez. 29 bucks. So you could get yourself 3 or 4 of those. You could get yourself the Corys. And you'd even have a couple left over for some, like, maybe topwater fish. You could get yourself, you know, some interesting stuff to breed. Longfin, super red, bristlenose, only 24 bucks. He's got good quality ones of those. I mean, it's pretty impressive. These guys, another really fun one, $19.99 for the Milky Way Tatia intermedia. A beautiful fish, absolutely beautiful. The Galaxy Woodcats and so forth too. Again, ocean blue shrimp. These are a little bit more. They're $4.99 a piece. He has ones with orange eyes that are Neocaridina, which is like unheard of, and they're $5 a pop. I don't know, honestly, how he can afford these prices. He's got black rice fish from Sulawesi. Andre Wirtz just posted, or Wagertz just posted about these for Aquarium Glauser. They have an orange little tail highlight, and they're a black killifish, or sorry, not killifish, a black. Losing my mind, folks. Look at this! Holy smokes! Pictus Pimelidos pictus. So for Pictus catfish, only $7.99. You get a discount on top. I mean, it's crazy. They're already 2 inches. These are awesome. I filmed them swimming around. They're in some of my videos. Also, these were 249 bucks at Dan's Fish for a pair. He's selling them for 89 bucks. He'll do a pair also if you chat with him carefully and, you know, butter him up real nice. But pretty cool. Then you get your discount. You get your 10% off. That's that purple sailfin gudgeon. Let's pop this. I just got to show you how incredible these are. So I've given you guys options. Like, literally, these prices are low enough that you could get yourself an aquarium, like a 10-gallon shrimp aquarium setup. You could get yourself a little community nano tank setup, and you could breed a fish, all with the stuff at his shop for 200 bucks if you don't count like shipping. But holy cannoli, I got to show you this holy of holies. Watch this beauty when we take a look at her, him, it, these fish when they spawn. Oh, they are incredible, otherworldly. The purples, the pinks. Like, what kind of crazy fish is this? It's got orange, peach, purple, pink, blue. It is a very cool fish, and it is cold water tolerant. It can chill in like, I don't know, 60-degree water, I think, if I recall. Very cool. But anyways, yeah, Dan had them, and granted, Dan's probably have like gold in their blood, or they're probably like genetically something or other, you know, like from a golden valley that has pixie dust sprinkled on them. See, right there, it says, I finally have my holy grail fish. But yeah, very hard to find, very hard to get a hold of. There's some interesting articles out there on these and things, but a super cool fish. And he's selling them for 89 bucks. You'd get the discount, so it's really more like 79 bucks, something like that. 82 bucks, whatever. Also, he's got RU2s. You could raise those. He's got pom-pom crabs. He's got little fuzzy leg crabs. He's got red-eyed puffers for 24. He's got Dumbo mosaic dragons, and also, I mean, he's always got funky dragon guppies and other kohaku guppies. This is for a pair, $29.99. I mean, what could you sell a pair of those for? $29.99 easily. I just bought these little puppies. They're beautiful. These little gobies, I bought 2 of them. So fun to watch. You get a little scud colony and you set them up and watch them chase the scuds around. Super cool. The brand new red-tailed penguin. These are a newly discovered species. They're the penguin tetra, but with red tails. Go figure. He's marked down that price for $14.99. I mean, and he's already got low prices, and then you get the 10% off that. Okay, look at this. Caridina shrimp, only $8.99 for a shadow panda caridina. What? Who does that? It's bonkers. Again, you could get the SKO2. It's another, this is the zebra striped one, I believe. There's one that's got dots, and one that's got the maze, and one that has, see, here's the other one that just has stripes on it. And they're very subtle differences, but they do matter in a species way. He's also got some brand new, these were really cool. I had never seen these apistos, sunset apistos. And the Atahalpa, I don't know that, Atahalpa, I don't know, or Hualpa, I don't know them, but they had a big, the females have a big dot on their side, which makes them easy to ID. So he can easily do a pair of those, I think. But they're $14.99, and they were very, very pretty. They're like a bright yellow honey color with blues and greens. Very cool. But yeah, I mean, he's just got all sorts of cool stuff. Also, things like the Borneo white-armed crab, right? The Witcher crab, so cool. $19.99. It's just stuff that no one else has. He's got tangerine tigers for $4.99 shrimp. He's got super blue emperor tetras. Those are pretty cool too. But I mean, you just can't beat his prices. $3.99 for yellow Neo Caridina shrimp with the gold line on their back. I mean, yeah, pretty wild. So I just wanted to say that. Yeah, get $200 worth of ram's horn and bladder snails. Yeah, no thanks. A species profile will be a good awakening. Yeah, you know, I'm hoping to do some species profiles soon, and yeah, I'm debating which ones to do. Hey, Jeff Kane, what's up? Ryan Worrell, what's up? And In My Tanks, what's up? Alex's Crazy Aquatic Adventures, what's up? Have you ever seen Dicrosis fiorini? No, I have not. But I do think they're cool. I've kept a lot of the checkerboard cichlids and stuff like that. The little cichlids. Let me Dichrosis fornii. I don't know that one, actually, off the top of my head. Dichrosis. I've had the filamentosis. I mean, everyone's probably had that one. Oh, wow, those are really beautiful. Okay, here, let me show you guys these. You know, that is another thing that I would love to get a better handle on, is some better a better connection to a supplier like the Wet Spot. I tried so hard to get the Wet Spot to look at me and you know, have me rep them and have an affiliate link. Look at that aquarium glauser. Look at these checkerboard cichlids. Absolutely wild. Also, the compressiceps that are down here, I don't know why those popped up, but they're so cool. And the pike cichlids and stuff, those longer fish. But yeah, what a cool looking fish here with the little cichlids. That's really neat. I would like 10 of them. I don't know how much they're going for. Honestly, they probably look like this their entire lives, other than when they're, you know, strutting their stuff. And, you know, I'm going to hop on now to Aquatic Arts, and then we'll do Dan's fish last. But basically, Aquatic Arts, I've known them so long. I have such a good relationship with them. People have been saying, "Oh, they're going out of business." No, they got bought out, is what happened. So things did change. Things have kind of gotten reshuffled, and their web building and all that did kind of get confusing for a bit. But you can get anything on their site. So if it says, for instance, that this used to be $105 fish, these red widow frontosas, they're now $94. Okay, that's cool. Save 10%. Yeah, well, you guys already get 15%, meaning you're going to save 25% or a quarter of the price of a red frontosa. Those are big fish, just to warn you. But also in there, a lot of their stuff is now bred in-house. That was Aquatic Arts' goal all along, was to sell less stuff necessarily, but to do like these blue dwarf panda guppies. These are beautiful. I've been watching this line be developed for years and in-house there. And they've got all sorts of guarantees, and they've got all the info of how they've been kept. They're a rock solid thing when you get any of these, like the 24 karat ribbon guppies. Any of these lines of guppies are going to be super, super solid. Now, look at this. They are trying their hand at bringing in some crazy, crazy high-end stuff. And $50 a rice fish is pretty crazy. But look at the sparkles. I mean, that is absolutely a wild rice fish. Or not wild. You know, it's a line bred. It is a captive rice fish. But they're bringing some special ones in. Also, the Mazul or red cherry tetra. These were the $80. Well, there's 3 of them, so there's that. And that's down right now to 80. It was at 89. Granted, you could still get them cheaper at Moonlight Aquatics. But I do think that if you live, especially if you live close to Indianapolis and the shipping's cheaper or whatever, definitely check out Aquatic Arts too, because they can be a one-stop shop. You know, they got everything. So let's start again. Let's say we got $200 now. I gave you some ideas of what we could be doing with $200 at Moonlight Aquatics, and I gave you the code. Also, Johnny, thank you, buddy, for shouting out the channel with another membership. Nobody does it like you. Katie Flores, hello. Wicked Freaking Aquatics, hello. Asa Llewellyn, hello. Gardaki, saw you earlier, but hello again. So, Ryan Whirl, hello. Welcome as a member. Come in. Feel the water. It's fine. Oh, yeah. Dichrosis maculatus. Also, beautiful little fish. Cody Fugate. What's up, buddy? Sharfin Bean. Hello again. All right. Oh, here's a new one. We got Wicked Freaking Aquatic, which obviously love you. Fish Tank Aquatic. Hello. And Gardenia. Couldn't miss the live stream even if I'm frying chicken. Could you fry me some chicken? I'd enjoy that. All right, so what would Alex get at Aquatic Arts? Well, let's do the same thing. $200. What a crazy budget I could have if that doesn't include shipping. What I would get right here, boom. I would get some tuberon lamias. Can you get a pair? No. Okay. Well, I wouldn't get that then. They're out. I can't get a pair. But I would have gotten a pair of those and then bred them. The little humpback island lamias, a rare wild live bear. That's totally up my alley. What else would I get? These are incredible. Kitty tetras. Super cool. Get them in a 3-pack. Get them in a 6-pack. 6-pack, $22.89. Boom. So that's your schooling fish for our thing, right? I want more than 6. I want 9. $33 for 9 of them. So we've spent $33. Remember, we're going to get a 15% discount too. So we got these beautiful kitty tetras that are yellow, and they get this dorsal fin that kind of grows long and over the back of them. And the fun thing about them is they will reed or kitty tetras will actually school with any of the small cories. Wow. This is like another incredible fish that for a lot of people was a dream fish for a long time. But 3 of the Alani, the Chilotherania alani, these grow up to be absolute stunners. These are incredible rainbow fish. Probably the most psychedelic, colorful rainbow fish out there, by the way. But say you got your group of your kitty tetras and you want something else. You want to make some money off of something. Well, you could get some Ivan stuff. You could get some of these little pseudomagills and breed those. You know, get 6 to be safe. $39.99. All right, now we're at say $70. Not even counting our discount. So we're at $70. Well, we need some sort of cleanup crew or something, right? You know, we could throw a Pandagar in there for fun if we wanted. Or we could skip the last fish and we could do red shiners. Those are really cool. You probably need to buy a few of those. That would be a little harder. But the Celebi rainbow fish, also a cool one. And if you didn't want to do the Ivan stuff. Also, only $10 for the Cobalt blue dwarf goby. They're beautiful. The males are stunning. They're like this beautiful green, blue, turquoisey color. And they're just super cool. Now, you can also get, look at this, for just an albino bristlenose, pretty wild, only $7.99. That is cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Super red calico, $20. These are really pretty. These pearl gouramis can be really pretty. Look at that subtle color right there. $7.99 a fish. I don't know how clean those are just because a lot of gouramis have a lot of problems. Oh, they've got these back. I love these fish. These are native to Lake Inlay, the sunset thick lip gouramis, and they interlock lips and they swim around together like pushing and shoving, male and female, and they use these little whiskery things to feel around their world like little fingers. Very cool. Now, say you wanted that community tank we were talking about. You spend that $33 on that school of kitty tetras, and then let's say you want 3. Oh, are they out? Really? They're already out of the giant school of those, which is a bummer. But, you know, every day they add more stuff. Oh my gosh, these were so cool. I did order these at one point, and they're incredible. I would perchance, so let's say we spend $84 here, we spend $30 on the other thing. Let's with the 15% discount. using the code. I should add that. So aquaticarts.com, code Fishtory 15. Whoops, I think I spelled Fishtory wrong there. Yes, I did. Sorry, guys. aquaticarts.com, Fishtory. Code. And you know, the other thing that I don't remember is if you can do it in lowercase or like first letter capital F. I'm pretty sure it's case sensitive and all. Yeah, I think it's all case sensitive and all caps for that matter. For that matter. But we put in this. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to put that on screen. Ta-da! But those Bulgarian green seal points, beautiful, beautiful fish. They have an actual green or turquoise blue color to them. They're super cool with like a yellow eye. The Panda Aquarium Veiltail Angels, also super cool. I can't believe $19.99 or $56 plus then you'd get 15% off. Man, some of these are just priced crazy. Also, Golden Wonder Killifish. There are plenty of people out there that love these things, and you could get a group of them. You could get a couple males, a couple of females. You could easily sell those. Also, the Diamond Head Blue Neon Tetras. These I love a lot more than I like just the plain neon tetras. Look at these. They've got like a crystal on their head, basically, and it turns like a cobalt blue, and then their body goes to kind of a sky blue, and then, you know, the red is real fiery, but that's a 3-pack for $8.99. That is dirt cheap, guys. And same with like $10 for 3 of these for the glow light fellas, or pea puffers. You could do a whole like 5 or 10 gallon tank of these. $6.29 plus 15% off. Are you kidding? Also $5.99 for powder blue dwarf gourami. The females, super chill, super relax. Black tiger baddis. Is this for 3 of them? Yeah, it's a pack of 3 of them. Those, super fun, super worth breeding. I don't know how many males versus females they have. Might be something to ask about. But they also have koi now this year. Last year they had them. They had the Mayan koi, and those blew my mind. They also have the longfin green dragon plecos, which is great. Oh, look at these. The blue neon or red neon blue rainbow fish. Very cool. So here you got the albino pygmy corydorus. You could get these with those reed tetras I talked about for $33 for 9 of them. Then you could get these. You could get like 6 of them for what? 37, so $40. So 40 plus 33, we got 73. Then we're gonna take away 10%, so it's like -7. So we're at like $65. So I mean, oh yeah, Mayan butterfly koi. Look at these things, 29 freaking bucks. If you got a pond, holy cannoli, these are beautiful. Look at them, man. I want those so bad. Also, pygmy cory catfish. Not super common lately. Don't know why, but I love them. And Hestatus are another one I love. But those, they'll school with the other guys that I was talking about, the reed tetras. So lots of options here. This blackberry silver dollar. Now this is for someone special with the big tank. But man, that's a good price for these relatively newly discovered silver dollars with this big blackberry blueberry mark. The Kochu tetra, also 3 of these for $11.99. They get to be mid-sized tetras. They could live easily with like Congo tetras or a bigger like cichlid or a rainbow fish group. Super, super cool. Scissortail resboras get a little bigger. Again, a premium assorted in-house guppies. Super cool. Smoky chocolate veiltail angelfish. These are super cool. So you could get, like we said, we were at $85. We took that down to 65 or 75 with the with the discount probably. Well, then you could throw in, let's get 3 of these, right? 51 bucks. And you got to get something to clean up the bottom of the tank. Look at this, 62 bucks for the leopard pleco. That's a pretty good deal. Chang's close too. But you could also get a $32 white, snow white bristlenose. Very cool. The black emperor. Very cool. The red devil angel, only $14.99. Like, what? That's a crazy good deal. Look at how pretty these kois are. Super cool. So that's just fish. Also, I want to mention their plant selection has gone insane. Now, I have backed them for 7 years, and so I was a little worried for a while when they went through new ownership and everything. But now that they have both plants bred in-house by Aquatic Arts, which is awesome, and they have all the plants from Florida, like the all these flame swords and green crypts and brown crypts, red crypts, Madagascar lace, only $14.99. That's a $20 plant most places. They have the mother plant size of Anubias and Java fern, $7.99. But they also have bulb plants, which is cool, like this hammer leaf Oponigeton bolivianus, super cool. And then where is it? Oh, Pogostemon stellatus, super cool. Glossostigma right here. So you can then get these little combos that are pretty cool, and you get red root floaters, you get salvinia, you get water lettuce, and you get Amazon frogbit. All for, it's like $44.99. But you can pick different items depending on what they have. So super cool. I would recommend the salvinia or red root floaters, followed by the dwarf water lettuce. Dwarf water lettuce sucks nitrates out of everything super fast. But also this new AquaZen brand, the tissue cultures, for now anyways, are $7.99, $8.99. I mean, they even have some really rare potted crypts, like this Rosen Maiden Nuri crypt. Lucas Bretz usually has this too, but $17.99 plus your 15% off with Fishery 15. Crazy good deal. Your crypt spiralis, $7.99. I mean, look at this. Bacopa purple bunched Salzmani, $11.99. White Ludwigia, absolutely bonkers. Some of these are more terrarium plants they're getting into now too, but they also have like Bucephalandra. They have lemon Bacopa, the yellow variety of Caroliniana Bacopa. Look at that yellow. Ooh, pretty cool. Now, I told you there's lots of stuff. You guys can look through all that. It's very thorough. But let's just take a look at crabs. Crabs, freshwater crabs. Look at these. They've got the red apple crab, $9.99, guys. Then you get your discount, which is only $1 off. But I mean, come on, $12.99 for the red devil vampire crab. We got the Halloween vampire crab, 48% off. Come and get them, breed them. They're easy to breed. $14.99 for the other vampire crab with the name Dennerle, named after the European company. Now, these other ones out of stock at the moment. I bet you they'll be back soon. Every week they kind of update which ones have babies that are ready. But they're also selling springtails, and they sell very fast. Literally, they've sold out. But they're breeding them in-house. So we'll see. Hopefully they can overcome that issue soon. Right now, they just have this giant canyon isopod available. But for people who keep those as a pet of their own, pretty interesting. Also, amphibians, so axolotls, golden dwarf frogs, other frogs they're going to start carrying. Also, invert bundles. These are kind of interesting in that you can get yourself for $48. So on that crew we were just talking, that deal we were just talking about, where you get 9 I said get 9 tetras, and then get the cories, and then get the angelfish, right? Well, that puts us at $140, give or take. Spend your last $62 minus that percentage, and then look at this. You can select a Pandagara, a Siamese algae eater, or an autosynclus. I'd probably go with the autosynclus. And then an Amano shrimp. I'd say a lemon Amano shrimp because they're the coolest. We'll look at those in a second. Then assorted neurites. I'd say the thorn neurites because you get a whole bunch of these little tiny ones. And they're going to give you a 3-pack of each of those. And of the shrimp, a 5-pack. And, I mean, that's a good deal. Look at this. Look at these yellow. And also there's orange or sunrise version of the Amano shrimp. Super cool. There's the Snow White one. And then there's all the neurite snails. The King Koopa one. The Pink Lady. These are my favorite. But they're sadly, like, they stay small. They kind of hide out a lot because they're so small that they don't want to become food. Tiger neurites. We've got the sun thorn neurites. The devil spike. I mean, these are all just options in that kit. And then you can go to shrimp, and you can also look and see what they breed. Onyx shrimp. These ones are still relatively new to the hobby. Have you seen these red shrimp? They have a matte color. It looks like they've been primed with like red, brick red buffer paint over black or something. Very interesting. But again, there's tangerine tigers, only $6.79. You get your discount. So then it's like $6. I mean, how can you beat that? Well, you could go to Chang's and get it for $5.99, I suppose. But pretty good deal, especially for, I think the quality of shrimp is slightly higher here for a lot of these. Definitely for the red cherry shrimp, Chang's I actually prefer. But for the yellows and the greens, I think I prefer this Aquatic Arts source in, I'm gonna spill the beans that it's in Taiwan. But also these, I've been wanting to get a tank of these going. These Super Tiger shrimp. I just think they're such a cool semi-natural line, and I want them. I want them. Okay, Vampire, aka Viper shrimp, $16.99. You can also get the fan shrimp. I mean, look at these painted fires. That's a freaking red, the way it should be, a red shrimp. And I want to point out in this picture, you can see it. You can see the little the little bumps on the rostrum or the nose here. You can see the serrated rostrum. That's a good sign that you have a neocaridina rather than a caridina, usually speaking, in our hobby. Then look at these Silawacea species, absolutely bonkers. They've also got these snow Silawaceas down to $16.99. The bamboo shrimp, the fancy black tigers, which are $100. I mean, I wouldn't pay that for a shrimp ever, but I mean, you do you, girlfriends. Also, the shrimp breeder packs, super cool in that you get 10 females and you get 5 males of breeding age, plus you get all the leaf litter, food for a year, and a number of like moss and other botanicals and stuff. It's a good deal. They also have that same deal kind of set up with a few other species as well. But yeah, these are pretty neat, and you get to pick out a plant with some of them, or 3 plants with some of them. Also, these calico sun-kissed shrimp, they're a brand new neocaridina line. They seem to be not like 100% stable, but they seem to be holding interesting enough. Some of them are just like a very nice pumpkin with some speckled red. Others are red, white, orange, peach, and some are truly the namesake look, which is like calico. This one right here, where you got the red, orange, and yellow all together, or yellow with a red dot. I mean, there's so many cool possibilities. They're $9.99 a piece, which I think is fair. because they're so rare, or you can get them for $8 a piece. Plus, you'd get your discount. You would get your, and they don't have the breeder pack right now, but you would get your discount of 15% off. So I think I've given you guys quite a few ideas of what you could be doing if you wanted to on here, right? I hope so. They did have Malawa shrimp recently. Let me take a look real quick one more time. Invertebrates, let's see, Malawas. They did have some Malawa. And nope, you're right. I don't know that they do. But they do have a Latin name. Let me search that. Para dentata. Did they start calling them something else? They also have Babalti green shrimp and the Babalti super zebra shrimp. They also have the pink and purple Babalti striped shrimp at one point. I don't think they have those right now, but pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool, right, guys? All right, guys. So I'm probably going to get out of here fairly soon. Tomorrow when we do our live stream, I want to go over the stuff that is at Dan's aquarium, Dan's aquarium store, Dan's Fish. And then he'll be doing his announcement and stuff of what he's, brought in this week and all that stuff shortly. And hopefully Jason will be coming on the show and discussing his new startup, doing a Pistos big time again. Hoved Aquatics, what's up? Steenfod is strange these days. Oh, interesting. I don't know anything about it. I mean, didn't he just have a baby, or he's going to have a baby? It could be a lot of stress, but regardless, I hope he's doing well. I hope all of y'all are doing well. And I just wanted to share with you, if you're joining us a little later than some of the folks here, you may have something that I need to reveal. So, my tanks are looking okay, but they look like they need a pretty good trim, right? And that's fair. I think you guys are you're probably right. So, I mean, what if I move to the Roman Forum? Actually, I think this might be like Byzantium or something. I don't know where this is. But we could go to the Natural History Museum, or we could go inside of my aquarium with a little Stiphodon fella. And I can reach back here, show you the Wizard of Oz. But the whole point of what I'm saying is that I got the green screen, and it is very fun in my maniacal library I designed, where I would have fish, although they'd all be freshwater, but this works too. And then I'd have a few on the shelves too, and then I'd have a few displays like this. It really would be like the worst place for books ever, in a wet, damp, humid place, but I think it looks okay, right? So, got this beautiful, want to thank my wife for buying me the, look at, isn't that weird? The green screen. So we're moving up in the world. Also, I have to say that Adam Ragosia is going to give me a Canon camera body that is chef's kiss, nice, and I believe a laptop, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse too much. But that should allow the channel to get a little better. He wanted to help me out with the medical stuff, and I just felt so weird. You guys help me so much. You guys give me so much in so many ways, and you guys keep the lights on by being members and super chatting and watching and sharing all the things you guys do. Just thank you. And I felt weird taking money, so I was like, well, I won't take money, but I will take any of your old gear for YouTube if you have any. And he was like, yes. And he's like, I want to help you out. I want to be your Patreon or your patron. And So you can have my old camera and you can have my old laptop that has, I guess there's like a line through the screen or something, you know, like a dead spot or something. But regardless, I haven't had a good setup like that in 3 years now because medical bills kept getting in the way. So finally, guys, we're making some improvements. The fish room is coming along. Things are getting moved around. I am still having some issues with health and stuff, obviously. Alex, your hybrid stems, don't throw them out. I want them. I will pay for shipping also. Yeah, oh yeah. No, I won't throw them out, and I will save them for you, Johnny, 100%. Honey, there's someone at the door. Can you please get it, just in case it's the live fish? All right, someone's here at the door, guys. But it looks like Grant of Garden of Eater is streaming live now. So if you're interested in that, I mean, I would recommend that you go over and check out Grant's stream. He's a good dude. He's got 24 people. The cat's coming. You got 24 people in there. I think we could blow them up right now and go hang out with. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find a link. Hold on. Garden. TGOE shrimp. Why is that not popping up? Hold on. Copy. Boop a doop a doo. Pop that out of there. We go to YouTube. YouTube. Doop a doo. Party time. Excellent. Do 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 do. Oh, I just went on YouTube and it was like live police chase. I was like, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll just start watching that and ignore all y'all. Okay, I found him. Let's see if I can find his live stream. Oh, I did. And his website, which obviously that's great. That's good. That's bueno. So we can take where is his, oh, here it is. So I can go with here and I can go to right here, copy, and then I can go over to here. You guys are like, what the hell is he doing? But I can go here and I can say visit Grant Eater, tell him Alex says hi. And you got to say says hi like that. If you want to go learn about shrimp, right there, that's your link. Why didn't that link work? Does the hot links not work anymore even? I mean, it's his channel is TGOS Shrimps. The Garden of Eater Shrimps is what it stands for. But if you hop over there, if you want to talk about shrimps, he is the shrimp man. So yeah. Thank you. I've organized my observatory very, very strictly, and there are no flaws in the structure here. It's all very high quality. We're doing real good here. Don't need any donations. Don't need to keep the lights on or any of that stuff. Pretty magical deal. Gonna say. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful night. And I guess we got to sing out, even if we're going over to Grant's, even if you're going home and you're just going to bed, even if you're just like, I'm done with the internet. I got to unplug. I can't hear one more thing about the internet. Well, oh man, there's a song called Welcome to the Internet that I like, but there's also another song called the Prawn Song by what's his name? Nerd something. Nerd. It's nerdcore rap. Anyways, I'm getting way off the tracks here. When really all I want to do is make love to you. I don't want you keep no home. I don't want you cook no home. Wait, cook no. Wait, that doesn't rhyme. I just realized all that. I don't want you to be true. I don't want you cook no. Wait, cook no bread. I don't need you to be true. I just want to make love to you. Huh. Nah, that one doesn't work super well. I don't remember the lines enough anyways, you know, but I do feel like I gotta have something. So, you know, it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. Got him frowning on annuities, signing too, because only God knows what you gonna do. They admire all the number book takers, thugs, pimps, and pushers, and the big money makers. Driving big cars, spending 20s and 10s, and he wants to grow up to be just like them. Strugglers, gamblers, dang it, druggies, scamblers, burglars, gamblers, pickpockets, peddlers, even panhandlers. You say, I'm cool, I'm no fool, then you wind up walking out of high school. Now you're unemployed, all non-void, walking around like your pretty boy played, turned sick up kid. But look what you done did. Got sent up for an 8-year bid. Now you're used and abused like a Maytag. Now your manhood is took. Spend the next 10 years as an undercover. Oh, and then it gets a little dark, guys. We're just gonna end the song there. So, I love you, you love fish. Let's go watch Grant talk about shrimp. And I'll see you tomorrow when I stream again and we talk about Dan's stuff, Sugar Hill, and also Grandmaster Flash, the message. Is it Grandmaster Flash? I can't remember. Grandmaster Flash, yeah, in the Furious 5. Okay. All right. You warped up in your green screen? Yeah, I did, okay? And I might make an outfit out of it too, you know? Just leave me alone. Apparently, the whole thing falls over real easily. Apparently, this is all a charade that is just thinly veiled production falling apart. And yeah, I know you guys want a species spotlight. That'll be coming at some point. And if I don't come up with a rant first, I'm having to try so hard not to be political and also to just stay. Oh, the last thing I was going to show you, then I'll go, I promise. They're like, Alex, go away. Shut up. Moose, what's up, buddy? So, warning, slightly graphic. You may be thrown up. You may throw up at the pictures you are about to see. So these are, I was going to show you guys today. I went to the doctor and I had my foot dealt with. My wife is already shaking her head in the background. I can't see her, but I know she's shaking her head. She says, do not show them those photos. Well, here I go to get my live stream, whatever, demonetized. So here's the first one that's fun. My doctor was like, when I went in, he's like, MRI says you broke your ankle. And he's like, but I didn't need an MRI to tell you that. It looks like a hot dog. So both ankles are broken. What do you call it? Stress fracture. But, I mean, it is comical that I did not somehow... I mean, they're swollen too because I've got the autoimmune stuff and who knows what. But I mean, come on, guys. How did I not know that ankle was real busted in 3 spots, 3 bones? So real gnarly. So that's that. We're getting gnarlier though. So then I know this, guys. Look how good it's looking. I mean, that may look gnarly to you because it's on the bottom of a foot and I can't wash the foot, which is super annoying. It's in a cast or wrapped up or whatever. But this is the wound that the rock caused. Then I stepped on glass, and then the rocks were in the shard of glass. There were rocks in the driveway that went in the same wound. They did the surgery. They sewed me up. They never pulled out the rocks. That's the hole in the bottom of my foot. And it is literally a hole that used to be 1.5 inches deep. It used to go to the bone. That's because it got infected. And they kept me from going to proper care. It took 3 months to get into wound care. That's what I was complaining about all those months. And that's why I almost went in septic and almost died. Go American healthcare. You know, I won't rant about that tonight, but pretty bad. So the wound then, as of today, it was looking like this. Pretty clean margins. There's no undermining or tunneling, as they call it. It's not pleasant, but it's a big old hole with fresh tissue in it that's starting to heal. And I say heel, that's kind of a pun, but literally it's on the heel of my foot. So let me turn the brightness down. That'll probably help. Yes, it's on the heel of my foot. So it looks kind of worse than it is as far as what it is, because it's just the callus, and that's like a fresh cut, and the callus has grown over it. But I'm doing better, somewhat. But today, I was not so lucky. Today, I was very unlucky. This is it. We're getting worse, you guys. This is the part where you're going to say, ooh, getting worse. So I then walked to the place, and my leg, that is basically the callus got wet as my leg was draining into the foot. When I stand up, I was laying down last night, and I've been resting a lot. That's why I missed some live stream. I missed some content. But every time I go in, they charge me $700 out of pocket. So until I hit my maximum of 10,000, which we did now finally, but it made it so that I didn't want to go twice a week. I wanted to go once a week, not knowing how long it would last. We weren't sure, but now hopefully we hit that max, and it's just like, I think we paid 10 or 20% of what's left. Anyways, so they were removing debris. Seems negligent. Yeah, they also gave me gram-positive antibiotics when I knew it was a gram-negative infection. And I suspected that. I wrote an email. Then we got an actual puncture. What do you call it? When you take a sample of tissue. Why can't I think of that word? Somebody is going to say it in a second here. But the puncture where they take they test the heel or whatever, they test the skin, biopsy. Thank you so much, Fish Dreams. Hey, Fish Dreams, by the way, and Sketty Nona, good to see you. And Mr. Manson, good to see you as well. But yeah, the biopsy, that's always fun because it comes right out of the center. So today they took another biopsy apparently, but look at this. They actually cut the wound open again, and they have to clear the margins. So they use what's called an oculate, I think it's called. And that is what it's a rounded scalpel. That's a scalpel that does a complete loop. And they then cut out the edge of the wound bigger by around 3 or 4 millimeters all the way around. So it's a bigger wound now again. And then they cut into the center because that's what they call granulated tissue that's trying to grow back in. And so they basically have to go in and re-injure it because my foot is trying to grow callus over it and not actually grow the proper muscle fat, like the deeper layers of tissue. It's trying to seal it too early over and over. And so they have to do that. Well, then it wouldn't stop bleeding. So they did something that I didn't even realize they still did to awake patients today. And it was literally like, bite on this stick. Most people are gone now, so I know we're okay. This is not under any anesthesia. They did use topical lidocaine, not Procaine, not anything good like Visiocaine or Procaine. No. Lidocaine, like the stuff you get at the store, the 2% crap. I'm just gonna say that it's not very good. It hurt very bad. but it's better than nothing. I will say that. So then they took that, and then what they did is they tried to stop it clotting by using this stuff called silver nitrate, and that's some of the gray stuff there, and then some of the dark stuff there is. Then they put this other stuff on it that causes clotting and coagulation. That didn't work either. They couldn't get it to stop because they cut a vein in my foot that supplies blood to my whole foot. And so they then took a scalding hot, they used a torch, a very hot, like propane or acetylene type medical looking torch. And they heated up this little, it looked like a spoon with like a half or a crescent moon on it. And then they just touched that just for a moment to the inside of the wound, and you could hear it sizzle and pop and make a disgusting noise. And that stopped all the bleeding. And they're like, okay, we're good to go. You can go home. And guys, I think my fish are here. Hold on one sec. Oh, thank you. Okay, false alarm. But also, I want to say I saw the super chat. Thank you so much, Ollie the pufferfish. I really do appreciate it. Looking better. Please go put your feet up. Thanks for the bonus stream. Made my Manic Monday a lot better. Well, you made me a lot more manic. So, yeah, we're all good. Next, they'll use leeches. I know, right? Yeah, now, cauterization works pretty well. But the thing is, it can cause scar tissue. But due to my lupus, I'm very resistant to forming scar tissue. Like, I've told you guys this before, but even my wound from that huge surgery this summer, it's just a line now, and it's not a big trench. It's not a bunch of scar tissue or keloid. Even when I got stabbed through this arm and out the back, there's like hardly a mark. So I'm lucky in that regard. I don't scar really bad. But I do want to show you this one thing that I just got here. I got the computer and stuff. I don't want to show all the labels though. From Adam Ragusia. So I got to call Adam and tell him how excited I am. Take a look at what he sent me. This hopefully really helps the channel. So you can drop by his channel too. You know, he has an incredible YouTube channel with millions of followers. And I'm just trying to be humble and learn from the guy because I've always looked up to him. So I just, it's a good day. It's a good end to the bummer morning part of the day. And I got to do a bonus stream with you guys. So all that's exciting, all that's good. And here is the Garden of Eden stream again. I think if you want the live stream, go in there and say Alex says hi. You gotta spell it that way though, with the Z and the IGH, or he won't get it. He just won't understand. He'll be like, who? What? I don't understand. All right, you guys. I'm going away for now. I'm gonna go back indisposed, and we should be streaming tomorrow as long as my foot isn't like killing me with a fever or something crazy complication wise. I love you, and I'll see you later. Take care of your fishies so that you can have a happy day. Then take care of the people around you. But if you're gonna do any of that, take care of yourself first. Think of yourself, or you can't do any of the taking care of anything. So do all that. That's your homework tonight. All right, guys. Much love. Bye. Are they gone? Are they gone, honey? Did they leave?